For years, the world has struggled to understand an ideology that thrives in darkness.
What I was trained to fight against wasn't Muslims, it was radical Islam. An ideology capable of twisting minds. When I look at crowds protesting without knowing what they're defending, it scares me. The groups they support would never accept them. Some of them wouldn't survive a single day under those laws. And the craziest part? These protesters don't even realize the same groups they defend would strip away every freedom they're enjoying right now.
People don't understand. These extremists don't just attack with weapons. They attack with ideas. They infiltrate minds long before they infiltrate borders.
What people forget is that this ideology grows quietly. You won't see it coming. It starts in classrooms. People think you need armies to spread terror, but that's the lie. Just a handful of radicals can shape the minds of thousands. And the worst part is, you won't even notice it happening. It starts with whispers.
That's where it begins, when young minds are guided the wrong way. Fill their world with fear, limit what they understand, and
When young minds are shaped through fear or misinformation, the consequences can last a lifetime. It's not about any one group.
And that's why stories from people who grew up in difficult environments matter. Because understanding their experiences.
There was a young boy whose childhood shows exactly how early experiences can shape someone's beliefs. His story isn't about blame. He grew up surrounded by fear and confusion, learning things no child should ever have to absorb.
there came a moment when he began to question the things he'd been told. Not because someone corrected him, but because real life didn't match the stories he'd grown up hearing.
And that's where his real journey begins. The moment he starts noticing the difference between what he was told and what he saw with his own eyes.
He was very young when he first began to notice the world around him, seeing it through the eyes of a child who didn't. He grew up hearing many things from the adults, but as a child, he didn't yet know what was true or what it all meant.
Sometimes he would hear adults speaking in the distance, catching pieces of conversations he didn't fully understand. Reasons. He often tried to make sense of the things he heard, but as a child, his understanding came only from expressions.
With no explanations to guide him, he often relied on his imagination to fill the gaps. Like many children,
Small interactions shaped how he viewed people. A friendly gesture, a passing smile, or a simple moment. He noticed small details others might ignore, how people greeted each other, how someone shared a drink with a neighbor.
Some moments made sense to him, and others felt unclear. Childhood is often like that, a mix of comfort.
Some scenes felt warm to him, the way people shared small moments. Yet other things he saw left him wondering, because no one explained them.
To make sense of what he saw, he sometimes imagined his own explanations. Children often build stories.
Sometimes, a small detail would capture his attention. A color, a sound, or something left behind in the street.
But to him, every small discovery felt important. Children often explore the world step by step, trying.
As he looked around, some moments felt warm and familiar, while others felt mysterious. Moments like these were the first times he began to think about the world, not in big ideas, but through quiet questions that formed in his mind. He often looked from one place to another, hoping to understand more. But like many children, some parts of his world felt calm and familiar, while others left him wondering. Childhood often holds this. He carried these small impressions with him as he moved through each day. They weren't answers, just quiet monstrous. Looking forward, he sometimes felt the world was bigger than he had imagined. Even small scenes ahead of him made meaning. Each new sight added a little more to how he understood life. Not in clear lessons, but in quiet ways that just. These small moments created the quiet foundation of how he would come to understand life, not through explanations, but through
With every new step, he gathered small observations. Children often store these moments quietly, long before they ever understand why they matter.
All these early moments slowly became part of his inner world. small impressions that stayed with him. These little experiences settled quietly inside him. Childhood often collects moments this way. Every new scene became a quiet memory he kept with him, shaping the early feelings he had about the world long before he knew how to describe them. These early impressions didn't feel important at the time, but they slowly built an emotional base, a quiet sense of how the world looked and felt to him. Even the moments he barely noticed became part of him. Childhood has a way of collecting tiny details. These small scenes were the earliest pieces of how he understood life. Not full ideas, but gentle. These quiet details formed the early map inside his mind, a simple understanding shaped by what he saw. Moments like these quietly shaped how he felt about his surroundings. Without realizing it, he was building a sense. These moments settled inside him quietly, becoming early memories he carried, without knowing how deeply they would shape his feelings later on. At that age, the world felt huge to him. Even simple sights made him wonder, giving him the sense that there were little moments like these fed his curiosity. He didn't always know why they stood out, but they quietly helped him make sense of the world around him. Moments like these quietly formed patterns in his mind, soft, simple feelings that stayed with him, shaping how he would remember these early years. In this Taurus, all these small feelings layered quietly inside him, becoming the soft backdrop of his early memories.
He kept moving forward, collecting quiet impressions without realizing how much they would shape him.
Ahead of him, the world appeared in small pieces, little scenes that meant nothing at first, yet quietly taught him how to see and feel. With each small step, the world seemed to open just a little more.
In moments like these, he learned without realizing it, noticing light, movement, and quietness.
Nearby, even the smallest sights would catch his attention. Little moments like these helped him develop a quiet awareness. He leaned in with quiet curiosity, noticing small details that most people would walk past. These gentlets. As he lifted his eyes again, the small discover stayed with him. Moments like these built a gentle sensitivity.
He turned back to his path with the same quiet rhythm, carrying each small feeling with him. These gentle impressions.
As he walked into the softer shade, the rhythm of these small transitions became part of him. In the soft glow behind him, even his own shadow felt like part of the moment. These quiet shifts. As he stepped forward again, the soft rhythm of light and shade became part of him. Quiet.
As the light touched his face again, he carried each small feeling with him. These simple steps.
In front of him, the courtyard opened wide and calm. Each new moment added quietly. He didn't know why these moments stayed with him. He only knew they felt gentle and real and somehow important. As he looked ahead, he carried a soft sense of direction, shaped not by big events, but by quiet. Step by step, the quiet lessons of his early world moved with him, simple impressions that would guide him long after this day faded into memory.
And in that gentle light, his earliest understanding took shape. Quiet, steady,